It started with a squeak, the kind of sound that doesn't belong on a Saturday evening when you're just trying to wind down. I was in my backyard folding the cover across my pool, ready to call it a night. The air was warm, the crickets had just started their song, and I was looking forward to a cold drink and some peace. Then I heard that squeak, the little friend gate that connected my yard to the one next door. The gate I kept meaning to take down, but hadn't gotten around to yet. And that's when she appeared, Brittany, the neighbor's college-aged daughter, in a pink bikini with her two friends trailing behind her, like carbon copies, giggling, carrying towels, and a tote bag full of White Claws, like they were walking into a resort. She looked at me dead in the eye and said, "What do you mean you're closing it? We're having a girls' night. We've got drinks and everything." And I just blinked because the pool was covered. I was literally standing there rolling it shut. I said calmly, "Sorry. It's my property and I'm done for the night. You'll have to find somewhere else. Simple, clear, no room for debate." Or so I thought. Brittany scoffed like I'd told her Santa wasn't real. "We use this pool all the time. The old owners never cared." And right there was the spark. I looked at her and said, "Well, I'm not the old owner. I care." That's when the yelling started, the finger pointing the drama. She stormed off, saying she'd get her mom. I figured I'd get a nasty note on the door the next morning. I could have handled that. But 5 minutes later, the back door of their house slammed open, and out came her mother. Let's call her Marlene, marching across the grass in yoga pants and rage. And the very first thing out of her mouth yelled across my backyard wasn't even about the pool. It was, "Why don't you just let my daughter use your things? Is it because you people don't know how to share what you haven't earned?" I froze. Not because I didn't know how to respond, but because I knew exactly how much weight those words carried. That line, racism wrapped in entitlement, wasn't about a pool, it was about me. And I decided right then not to play the game. I stood tall, locked eyes with her, and after a long silence, all I said was, "Are you finished?" The silence rattled her more than shouting ever could. She backpedaled into threats. "My husband's a lawyer, a very good lawyer. You'll regret this." And with that, they stormed back through that squeaky gate. By the next morning, the smear campaign had started. I woke up, checked my phone, and there it was on the neighborhood Facebook group, Brittany's post about how she and her friends just wanted a peaceful swim, and how their new neighbor screamed at them and terrified them. She attached a blurry photo she must have snapped while I was standing by the pool, framed, so I looked menacing. The comments rolled in like wildfire. "Are you okay? That's unacceptable." I knew he seemed off. They turned me into the villain overnight. I didn't argue back online. I screenshotted everything, every comment, every lie. And then at 9:01 a.m., sharp, my phone rang. A gravelly voice on the other end introduced himself, Marlene's husband, Richard. Senior partner at some firm downtown, puffed up with arrogance. "My daughter has used that pool for over a decade under a verbal easement. Your refusal constitutes harassment and emotional distress. We have witnesses." He started listing nonsense about my fence being half an inch over my lights, being too bright, my AC being too loud. "We will find something," he growled. I let him rant, then I said flatly, "Are you calling as a father or as her attorney? Because if it's the latter, this call is being recorded." Silence. Then a stumble. He'd just realized I'd checkmated him in the first 5 minutes. That afternoon, I called a friend of mine, Ben, who happened to be a property lawyer. Former military prosecutor, calm as a surgeon. I sent him the screenshots, the audio, the survey, everything. By the next day, he had it organized in folders on a screen like it was a tactical mission. His plan was ruthless: a cease and desist, a no trespass order, a harassment complaint to the HOA, and a quiet call to Richard's law partners so they'd know one of their own was out here bullying neighbors. And as we prepared, the petty harassment started. Saturday morning, 7 a.m. A full lawn crew with blowers roaring under my bedroom window against HOA noise rules. That afternoon, their sprinklers malfunctioned and drenched my patio furniture. Sunday, Brittany and her friends blasted bass-heavy pop for hours. I didn't react. I documented. Videos, decibel readings, timestamps. The showdown came that Wednesday at the HOA hearing in the community clubhouse. Picture it. Fluorescent lights, folding tables, 5 board members who looked like they'd rather be watching TV. On one side, Richard in a power suit with his wife and daughter dressed like they were attending a funeral, tissues in hand, friends behind them playing the choir of victims. On my side, me and Ben, calm laptop in hand. Richard went first, spinning tales about shared space and decades of tradition. Marlene dabbed fake tears. Brittany squeezed out one perfect tear on cue. It was performance art. Then it was my turn. I plugged in the projector, and up on the wall appeared one simple slide timeline of events. Saturday, 8:15 p.m. trespass. 8:20 p.m. refusal to leave. 8:25 p.m. verbal assault. 9:05 p.m. defamatory Facebook post. Monday, 9:01 a.m. intimidating phone call. Slide by slide, I laid it out. Quotes from Marlene's racist line. Screenshots of Brittany's post with aggressive and terrifying highlighted. Audio of Richard threatening to ruin me by calling in favors with judges. And finally, the videos of the noise, the sprinklers, the bass. You could have heard a pin drop. The board members weren't looking at me anymore. They were staring holes through Richard and his family. When I finished, I read my closing, like it was a simple truth: I moved here for peace. Instead, I've faced trespassing, abuse, defamation, and harassment. I'm not the aggressor. I'm asking the board to enforce the rules. That's all. The board president, a retired accountant named Frank, leaned forward and asked Richard, "Do you deny saying these things? Do you deny your wife and daughter posted these comments?" Richard's mouth opened, but no words came out. He just shook his head, beaten. The verdict was swift. Maximum fines for every violation. A formal no-contact order. And the killing blow, a mandatory public apology on the Facebook group, wording approved by the board. 24 hours to post it. And they were put on probation with the HOA for a year. Any more complaints, and they risked a lien on their property. It was a brutal public humiliation. The apology went up the next day. Stilted, forced, dripping with resentment, but it was there for everyone to see. Their little empire of influence crumbled overnight. Richard got called out by his partners, forced into leave. Marlene disappeared from the social scene. Brittany's college friends screenshotted the whole saga, and her reputation tanked. Within months, the house was up for sale. The night Richard came to take down that squeaky gate with his own hands, shoulders slumped, whispering, "I'm sorry," was the first time I saw him as a man instead of a bully. But it was too little, too late. By spring, the for sale sign was planted, and not long after, a new family moved in, normal, decent, respectful. We got along right away. Looking back, I realized it was never really about the pool. The pool was just the stage. The real fight was over boundaries and respect. They believed my space, my success, my privacy was theirs to share. And when I said no, their world cracked. But standing firm, documenting everything, and refusing to play their game, that's what saved me. Now when I sit by that pool at night, cover rolled back, drink in hand, I don't just see water. I see the line I defended, the peace I earned. So let me ask you, was I too harsh, or was it the only way to survive in a neighborhood like this? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I really want to know where you stand. Do you side with setting hard boundaries, or do you think I should have tried harder to make peace? And if you've ever had a neighbor cross the line, tell me your story.